Hello and welcome back to Little Drops of Wonderful. This is my place on YouTube to talk about all things crochet and knitting and yarny and crafty, and to catch you up on all of the things that I have been making and doing over the past, well, usually I do a wrap up at the end of each month, but it's actually been 2 months. I took a little bit of a unplanned break, so this is going to be a wrap up for May and June, what I've been up to. And that was because at the end of May I hadn't really made much progress on anything, so I didn't really have anything to share, and I didn't want to film a whole podcast about very little. I would have just been filming for the sake of filming rather than having something interesting to share with you. But I haven't been quiet on the channel. I have there's been quite a few videos. I did a week of making vlogs, which were they went down really well. So thank you for your enthusiasm for those. They were really fun to do, and I'm definitely going to do it again because it's really motivating to sort of film what I'm making over the course of a week and really focus on it. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed those, thank you. And I've announced a make-along, and we raised some money for charity, which I shall mention later. And what else? Oh, I went and up to Ironbridge and dyed my dream yarn with Lay Family Yarn. That's all on here. And I think the last video was a lovely little cosy crochet day that I did last weekend. So I haven't been quiet, but it's about time we had a wrap up. So let's start with the things that I finished over the past few weeks and go from there and see where we end up. Just going to have a slurp of my tea. Oh, it's lovely. This is my second cup of tea of the day, and it is going down very, very well. Oh, lovely. I love tea, especially my first cup of tea in the morning. I think I've probably said that before. So what have I finished in May and June? So the first thing to talk about are my Ada socks. I got these finished and I am delighted with them. This is a pattern by Caroline Corley. Like I say, it's the Ada socks. I've followed the pattern exactly, except for the toe. So it's got and I might have ignored the rib as well because I like to do a 1x1 twisted rib. So I did a 1x1 twisted rib, then I did the patterned section here, which is really pretty. And then you do the stripes, and they've got a texture pattern. Some of the yarn I've used is quite dark, so you might not see that very well. Did the slip stitch heel, turn and gusset. And then you go back to the pattern on the top of the foot. And then for the toe, I did Kay Jones umbrella toe because that is my absolute favourite to do. The yarn is by a dyer that doesn't dye anymore, Little French Meadow, but I saved it for so long because I loved it so much. And this pattern is fantastic. I'm probably repeating myself from the last episode because I think I said this then, but it's a really great way if you've got a sock set and you get your main colour and then your mini, because you can use the mini in a slightly different way than just using it for cuffs, heels and toes, because you've got that lovely striping section, and I love that. I'm definitely going to make more of these with sock sets that I've got. I think it's a really effective way of using it. So yeah, these are finished. Really pleased with them. Where's my little notebook? See if there's anything else to say. Oh, I knit them on 56 stitches. I'm quite a loose knitter, so I use 2.25mm needles and knit most of my socks on 56 stitches. I'm thinking actually of experimenting with going down to 2mm for some of my socks because I do like them to fit quite with some negative ease. Yeah, 1x1 twisted rib for 18 rounds. Then I knit 2 rounds plain and then did the texture pattern. Followed the pattern exactly for stripes, heel, etc. And repeated the texture pattern a full 6 times before moving on to the umbrella toe. Those are all my notes in my handy little book. And I am chuffed to bits with them. I can't wait for it to be cold enough to start wearing them. Okay, so the other thing I finished was so that's my knitted project. I've got a knitted project, a crochet project and a cross stitch project. So let's talk about the cross stitch one, which is just behind my tea here. It is my David Attenborough cross stitch. I finished it. Oh my goodness, this is not in focus. There we go. It's just, I love it so much. I adored doing this. Doing a full coverage cross stitch like this was so fun. The way I did it was I did it in sections. I did the pattern, the cross stitch pattern came in 2 halves, so you had the top half and the bottom half. So I did the top half first, but I just did all the black outline and then basically coloured it in. Or I should say the pattern's by Hoops and Crosses, and I don't have any of her cards with me because now it's finished. I don't have it in a little project bag, but yeah, it's by Hoops and Crosses. It's a paid for pattern. You can still get the pattern. She did do it as a kit, which is what I had. She doesn't do it as a kit anymore, I don't think, but the pattern is still available to buy, and I will link that in the description along with everything else I talk about. And when it came as the kit, it came with the print that had inspired the cross stitch design, which is this one. Do this so it won't reflect. I've framed it because I love it so much. This is going to go in my stairwell art gallery or picture gallery that I have in our stairwell, obviously. So the original, oh, is it called Funky Monkey? No, I can't remember the name of the illustrator, so I will find out and pop it on the screen. But I got that as part of the kit at the time she was doing them. And yeah, I just love this. I would definitely do more full coverage cross stitch again. I loved working on it. What I've done at the back, I'll show you, is I've just woven it round and made it nice and tight. I'm not going to finish it off with felt because what I found previously when I've finished it off with felt is that over time it does start to loosen a bit in the hoop no matter how tight I've done it up, and I often want to adjust it and pull it slightly, so I don't want to take that ability away by covering the back. But yeah, love my David cross stitch. So once I finished that, I moved on to another one of Hoops and Crosses patterns, which is one of her free ones. It's still available. I will link this underneath as well. But I'm doing it with my own choice of colours. So it's her Trust pattern. I've only got the pattern here. So, oh look, I could show you how it looks from the front page. So it's like this. It's got gradient greens and then it says Trust in a kind of reddy bright pink in the middle. But I swapped the colours and I'm doing a more sort of autumnal palette. I didn't intend it to be autumnal, I just went to the thread section at John Lewis and picked colours that I thought would look nice in a gradient, and then picked a colour that I thought would look nice as a contrast for the letters, and it just turned out to be quite autumnal, which is very me. I love autumnal colours and I'm really liking so far how it's working up. So I'm going for kind of creams and browns for the gradient, and then I've gone for this lovely deep orange for the wording in the middle, and it will fill a hoop the same size as the David hoop, but I'm working on a bigger hoop so I've got space to do it, and I'm loving it so far. Like I say, this is a free pattern and I'll link it underneath. So this is my current cross stitch. However, oh, and this is my needle minder that is also from Hoops and Crosses. Love a needle minder. And I'm really, really enjoying it. I love cross stitch. It's one of my, I'm gonna have to move. Oh, sorry, I just kicked the tripod. I'm gonna be really low down now. I'm sitting with my legs crossed, but my legs are getting sticky where it's so warm. I find it really hard to do cross stitch in the summer because my hands get so sticky and hot and it all starts to feel a bit like I'm going to make it grubby and things. So I've kind of had to put cross stitch to one side during the warmer days of summer. But I'm looking forward to getting back to that in the autumn. I've been having a little dive through Etsy at different patterns, and I wanted to mention a couple that I'd found. So one of my most favourite books, probably my most favourite book, the #1 favourite book of all time is Jane Eyre. I first read it when I was, I think, in my early 20s, and I love it because it's funny, it's a bit different for the time it was written. I was absolutely head over heels in love with Mr. Rochester, and I remember I went on afterwards to read The Eyre Affair by Jasper Fforde, just so I could go and spend time with Jane and Edward again. Anyway, I recently reread that on audio, so I listened to the version that's free on Audible, if you remember, read by Juliet Stevenson. It was fantastic, and it put me down that kind of in love with the characters, wanting to find retellings and all of that again. And when I had been in my historical fiction phase, my historical fiction era, as what Victoria Red would call it, I had looked at cross stitches for like Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn and the other 5 Tudor wives, and I found some really excellent patterns. What were they? Who were they by? Fifi Grace Designs. I'll link all of these underneath. Fifi Grace Designs has all 6 of Henry VIII's wives as individual cross stitches, and you can also buy all of them together as a bundle along with Henry himself. Although I feel like I wouldn't want Henry up on my wall. I would want the wives, the girls. And so that made me think to go and look at Jane Eyre patterns, and oh my goodness, I've discovered on Etsy Mrs. Peggotty Arts. She has some absolutely incredible literary inspired designs, full coverage ones included. She's got several Jane Eyre, she's got Wuthering Heights, she's got, I wrote some of them down, Miss Marple, Jane Austen, she's got one of Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights, Anne of Green Gables, so many, and they would be absolutely perfect to work on whilst listening to the corresponding story. So I'm really tempted to get a Jane Eyre one and listen to another version of Jane Eyre whilst cross-stitching it. I think she has some Pride and Prejudice ones as well. And I'd seen on Audible, not Audible, on Everand, which is a subscription service that you can pay for audiobooks and ebooks, that there is a version of Pride and Prejudice that is read by the actress, I can't remember her name, she's amazing. The actress that plays Lady Danbury in Bridgerton has narrated Pride and Prejudice on a version that's available on Everand. So I can just imagine listening to her reading that story whilst doing a cross stitch of one of the characters from Pride and Prejudice. That would just be a perfect way to spend time, wouldn't it? But I'll link all those patterns underneath because they are absolutely fantastic. And if you're into cross stitch, I think, yeah, go and have a look. Brilliant. Whoops. Nearly smashed my mug on my light then. Okay, what else have I finished? Oh yes, my star catcher buddies. Where are they? Which bag are they in? Oh, here they are. So this was the result. You would have seen this if you watched the video before this one, which was my cozy crochet day. Look at how gorgeous this bag is. This is by my friend Rachel at So Romy. Whoops. It's so gorgeously simple and lovely, and then it's got this gorgeous fabric. Here's her little thing. I'm sure you all know Rachel. She's an excellent, she does lots of vlogs as well. And this is her little person, her little enamel pin person. And in here is the result of the day that I spent crocheting, my cozy crochet summer day. I made 2 little star catcher buddies, little amigurumi crochet project. I love them. This was at the request of my eldest daughter, Lilia. She saw this pattern on Instagram. It must have just come up on her feed, and she sent me a link saying, I need one. She hasn't actually seen them yet, so she doesn't know I've made them. I will give them to her when she wakes up. Yeah, but I've got them in here because I've got all kinds of other colours going on, because I'm going to make more. I'm going to make more of these. They were really fun to make. They were quite fiddly. Someone asked on the video if they would be a good pattern for beginners, and I would never say something isn't a good pattern for a beginner, because nothing can go wrong, can it? You can give it a go, and if it doesn't go right, you can just undo it and forget about it. It's quite fiddly in places. I made them quite small, but if you were making them with larger weight yarn, so like DK yarn, and it was a bit bigger, you'd have more space to work with. So there's you have to do a bit of finagling with the legs. You make one leg and then you kind of join, and the other leg, and you sort of join them together as you're going, and then you go into the body. You make the head separately and you sew them together. That's relatively easy. And then you make the little arms, which are quite fiddly, and sew them on. And then the hat is made in 2 pieces, which you sew together, and then you position on the head and sew in place. So there's a bit of fiddling about, but it's not a hard pattern. But I said in reply to the comment, I said the #1 amigurumi I would recommend if you're a complete beginner to amigurumi and just want to have a little go to see what it's like is the Dumpling Kitty by Sarah Sawyer. It's a free pattern. Do I have one here? No, I did have a dumpling. What is that? The daddy long legs. I didn't know what it was. There was some flying. Yeah, I did have one there, but it's not there at the moment. It's the dumpling kitty. There's really minimal sewing. It's a free pattern and it's really, really cute when it's finished, and there's a little bit of colour work you can add, or you could leave it out. So I'll link that underneath as well, because that's an excellent pattern if you're just getting started with amigurumi, just to get the hang of working in the round, stuffing something, making it look cute, getting the right gauge, you know, so the stuffing doesn't fall out and so on. That's brilliant. That's the final thing I finished in May and June. I have many projects to share with you that are in progress and have been shown a lot of love over the months of May and June. So I have made a lot of progress, and one or two that I haven't, but I'm going to share it all with you, lay it all out on the table. But before we move on to that, I just want to say a big thank you to serious readers whose serious light is just here, that I just nearly took out with my cup of tea, who are sponsoring this video. I am really delighted to be working with serious readers over the summer months. They're a fantastic UK-based company. They hand build their lights in Aylesbury, which is literally 90 minutes up the motorway. And over the summer, they are running a competition, which I really wanted to mention. Right, I'm going to look at my notes so that I get all the details right. It is to win an HD Serious Light, which is what I've got. I've got the HD Serious Light. That's the first prize. The second prize is one of their Nomad lights, and the third is a Roam light. I will pop the link to the competition. This is for UK residents only, by the way, the competition, but I do have a link to share with you as well that's worldwide. But the competition is for UK residents only. I'll link to it in the description. And you just need to follow the link and enter your details, and the competition runs until the end of August. However, I have a unique link for you that's worldwide, and that is to get £100 off any of the lights in the Serious Lights range. I will put the link, because it's my unique link, in the description and in a pinned comment as well. You also get free delivery if you're in the UK, but the £100 off is worldwide. Like I said, I have the HD floor light. It's got a lightweight base, so I can, unless it gets caught on the sofa, I can move it about really easily. It is my partner in crocheting and crafting crime. It is with me every evening throughout the year, and some early mornings as well. I wouldn't be without it. I can use it for hours, and it has been an absolute revelation, especially with cross stitch. I couldn't be without it now. I either have it here or I drag it over to the sofa over there, and I can use it even when people are next to me, because I keep it quite on its lowest setting. You can dim it and you can expand the light, but I keep them on its lowest setting, and that's more than enough. And it doesn't disturb anyone around me when I'm using it either. Let's just move it so it's a bit more out of shot. It's still in shot, but I think if I try to move it anymore, I'm just going to get myself even more hot and flustered. So yes, thank you Serious Lights for sponsoring this video. I love that they're a UK-based company. They've been established for 35 years, like I say, and I love that they started because the founder wanted to design a light for his mum to read comfortably. I just love that. So thank you very much to Serious Readers for sponsoring this video. Shall we move on to the things that I progressed with the help of my light throughout May and June? Where should we start? Let's start with Lilia's university blanket. So this is now living in a bag. Previously it was just living in one of those bags you get from Wool Warehouse, you know, one of the see-through sort of, what's that fabric called? It's like an organza bag, that's it. But now it's living in an actual bag. It's been upgraded. This is a fantastic bag. I got this in a swap I did years ago with Marta. Hello Marta, if you still watch. And it is fantastically big. I need to make myself my own bag that's like massive like this for big bulky blanket projects. And in here is the Sun Gold blanket by At-It24. It is a free pattern on her blog. All of her patterns are free on her blog. She's a fantastic blanket designer for crochet, and her tutorials are absolutely top notch. If you're a beginner and you want to learn to crochet, Lucy at Attic24 is Your Girl. That's where I learned. I learned a combination of the book, The Happy Hooker by Debbie Stoller, and Lucy at Attic24's patterns. That's how I learned to crochet. The very first thing I made, I think, was the ripple, neat ripple, which I made as a scarf, just to get used to holding the yarn and so on. But this is her sun gold blanket, and I've put a gummy bear on here as usual. Where's the gummy bear? Here it is. So you can see the I moved the gummy bear to here. Where is it? Where's the gummy bear? Here it is. So you can see the progress I've made. So watch the gummy bear and then you can see how much progress I've made since we last spoke. So much progress. So there's still a fair amount of work to do on this. I would say I am a little over halfway to how long I want it to be. It's going to be a single bed size. The colours have been chosen by my eldest daughter. She picked all the colours and she wants a blanket to take away with her to university. She's going to go at the end of September, so this needs to be done by then. It's already July and we'll be going on holiday and it's going to get warm and so on, so I really need to pull my finger out with this. I can't remember if there's a border that goes on it as well, although quite often I don't do the borders on a blanket, but we'll see. So the yarn I'm using is what's the yarn I'm using? Stylecraft. What is it? I don't think I've got the ball band in here, but I'm pretty sure it's Stylecraft. My notebook will tell me, won't it? Stylecraft Special DK. I'm using 5 colours: gingerbread, khaki, copper, walnut and grape. And the colour sequence I've worked out, I've got 5 different, I change it round, so I've got 5 different colour sequences. I've written them down here, and I'm working through each colour sequence. So I'm not just going khaki, gingerbread, grape, walnut, copper, and then back to the beginning and doing it again. I am mixing it up a bit just to make it look a bit more, I don't know, but I'm loving how that's working actually, and I'm going to use the same sequence when I start another blanket project very soon. Yeah, really like it. Lovely pattern, really easy to memorize. Once you've done a few rows you can do it. You can read your crochet really easily at either end as well to see what you're supposed to be doing, and I just try to stay on top of weaving in the ends. I'm doing two rows of the pattern for each colour, and then just weaving in my ends every now and then in front of the telly as I go. I am using a 3.75mm hook for DK yarn, and it's working out brilliantly. Okay, shall we move the gummy bear? Let's move the gummy bear so that next time I speak to you. Let's have a look. I've done 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. I've done 40 rows since I last spoke to you. So let's move the gummy bear up to the top. And next time I speak to you, I will be able to update you. Right, let's get that all shoved back in here. I might work a bit on that later. Although the next project I'm about to show you is my current obsession. Oh my goodness. So in here, oh, this bag. I can't put it away and I can't get enough of it. This was given to me by a lovely podcast viewer called James, who's not a podcaster himself or a vendor, was a visitor at the East Anglia Yarn Festival where I went in March, I think it was. There's a video about it on this channel. I did a whole vlog about the weekend we spent there. And I met James and he was so lovely, and he gave me this bag and it's Alice in Wonderland themed. It says hooray for James, and oh, I just love it so much. And inside it's lined with lobsters, because he knows I love lobsters and Alice in Wonderland, and I just love the shape. I love the fabric so much, and it's just perfect for socks. So in here are my Wonderland socks, so Alice in Wonderland bag, and then in here is my Wonderland socks. The yarn is self-striping. It was a birthday gift from my friend, and the yarn is from Spin and Blether, who I believe someone told me were based in Ireland. There's all the details on the back. And the colour is Wonderland. It came in 2 ready-made, oh no, was it cakes? Or no, it wasn't cakes. It was 2 skeins, or 2 skeins of 50 grams, and they were ready to go. So I put them on I wound them into cakes, and they were exactly the same. So I could start at exactly the same point, as you can see here. So which one am I further along? This one. So I'm really pleased with myself with these. So first of all, the yarn is spectacular. Obviously they're Wonderland themed, and somehow these colours just scream Wonderland to me. I just love them. She does another one, or I'm saying she, I don't know. They do another one in their shop called Unbirthday. I'm very tempted to go and get that. So I've turned the heel, and I didn't want to put any other yarn in here. I just wanted to use this particular skein of self-striping. I didn't want to put any contrasts in. So what I did was, I'm just doing a plain vanilla sock. I did my favourite 1x1 twisted rib for I think 16 rounds. Then I've worked the full colours. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 colours in this self-striping yarn. So I've worked down to the 8th colour, and then I did the heel flap. So you've got the stripe, you've got the grey and the teal in the heel flat. And then when I went to do the heel turn is when I went into the blue. And then I picked up and started on the gusset with the blue, which obviously would have been much thinner because you have many more stitches when you're working the gusset than you do on the rest of the sock, if that makes sense, whilst you're decreasing. So I then cut the yarn. I worked to the end of the blue that I had, I cut the yarn, I wound off the next few stripes and joined in again with the blue further on in the same cake. And then when I'd reached 6 rounds of the colour, which matches the width of the, I'm describing this so badly, when it got to the right width, I cut the yarn again and joined in the next colour. So I had like a tiny bit of blue that I'd removed, which is here. It fell out of the bag just now. And now I'm just back using the stripes in the yarn. And that seems to be working quite well. I think the orange will be 1 round narrower, but I don't think that's going to notice. So now I'm just back to using the yarn. There's plenty in the cakes to do that, just to cut a little bit of yarn out and wind a little bit off and still have plenty to finish the sock. So I'm really pleased with myself. I love how that looks. Be easier to show you when they're finished, and I can put them on a sock blocker. But yeah, absolutely love it. I knit my socks, well, try to knit my socks concurrently. Oh, it does mean I'll have some ends to weave in, but I've kind of woven them in as I went. I've just got to tighten them up and snip bits. Yeah, so I'm doing that on the second sock as well, because I knit my socks concurrently, and so I do a little bit on one and then I pick up the other one and do a little bit on that one. So with this I knit the leg, and then I put it down and knit the other leg, and then I pick this up to do the heel. And now that I'm on the gusset decreases, I've picked the second sock up and I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm on the heel flap. In fact, I've nearly finished the heel flap and I'm ready for the heel turn, and then I'll have 2 socks at the same point, hopefully by the end of today maybe, or tomorrow. I'm so thrilled with these, and the colour, oh, just thank you so much to my friend for buying this for me. Oh, and on each of them I've got an Alice themed stitch marker. So this one's got a tea bag with tea written on it, and the other one has got a little, well, it's sort of just fantastical fairy tail type thing with a toadstool. Just like this whole project just makes me so very, very happy. So I've been a bit obsessed with this over the last couple of days. Ooh, ah, disaster. Just lost a needle. There we go. Yeah, so those are giving me a bit of a self-striping obsession, and I'm thinking I might do a little bit of a dive into my stash, my vast stash, and dig out all of my self-striping and start casting them on, because I forgot just how lovely it is to work on self-striping yarn. It's just so motivating, isn't it? To just finish that colour. Oh no, I'll just do one more stripe and so on. I just love it. That's going on the sofa for later. What else have I progressed? Oh, my weekender blanket. So this is the blanket I'm making throughout the year with the minis from Green Lambkin Yarns Treasure Box Blanket Club. Secret Treasure Box. No, is that what it's called? I will consult the notebook again. Everything goes in here. So easy. I stick the labels in for this. Here we go. Yeah, I've just been sticking the labels in. Secret Treasure Box. Yeah, I was right. So it's all DK. You get 4 20-gram DK minis every month. And I'm using a 4mm hook, and I'm making a weekender blanket, which is a pattern by Sandra at Cherry Heart. And she does give you a join as you go method, but I'm not using that. I'm just making the hexagons, and at the end of the year I'm going to get them all set out how I want them and then join them together then. I'll probably hate myself at the end of the year for deciding to do that, but here's how it's looking so far. I need to count how many I've got for the year. Here's my secret treasure box of hexagons. So the latest one I've worked on is the ones for May. It's the 1st of July today, so I would imagine that the June ones will probably pop through my letterbox at some point today or tomorrow. Wouldn't it be fun if they came to the letterbox this morning as we were filming? I'll keep an ear out for the postie. So these are the May ones, and they are gorgeous. I loved every single one of those. I was messaging Suzanne as I was crocheting them. I want to make a jumper out of this one. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That would look so lovely in a jumper. And then there was this one. Oh, those greens with the sort of peachy, pale, browny pink. And then this, oh, the creamy yellow with the speckles of like peachy red. And then this one as well. I'd have a jumper in this one. Oh, I think this is my favourite month so far, but I think I might have said that for each of the months. I just, love them. So I'm really good at staying on top of this. Every time I get my minis, make a bit of time, remind myself how to do the hexagons, and off I go. And I'm making the occasional half hexie as well, which you need. And then any little scraps that are left, I've got a little bag here to put all my little scraps that are left over, just in case I need them to add in at some point. They're all in there, and then all of my bits and bobs that I'm using, including my hook and so on, are being kept in my little pouch here. And this little pouch, oh, so gorgeous. The fabric reminds me of Animal Crossing. Oh, I just love it so much. This was a gift, I think, last year. And this is from Alexandra. What's the name of your shop, Alexandra? I'll link her underneath. I'm pretty sure it's Mouse in Paris. Pretty sure. There's no label on here, is there? No label. I'm pretty sure it's Mouse in Paris, but I will link her underneath because she makes lovely bags and things like that. And my bag that this is living in, which is my spectacular bag. Oh, I can't get enough of this fabric. I want cushions in this fabric. I want bedding. I want a dress in this fabric. This is by this Lizzie Sews. I will link her underneath. She sells on Facebook. She had a bit of a waiting list for this size. This is the larger size. Just lovely. And it's special because it's rigid at the top. So when you open it up, it opens up like that, like a knitting bag. So, which it is, like a knitting bag, which it is. Yeah, adore this. So I will link her underneath. All the makers and everyone, I will try to link underneath. I really want to. I like supporting small businesses, and yeah. So if I can link it, I will. So my making plans for the month ahead for July. So I'm filming this on the 1st of July, so it's ideal timing. I want to finish my Wonderland socks, like I say, and then dig out some more self-striping, because I feel like I'm going into my self-striping era for socks. So I definitely want to get those finished and get some more self-striping cast on. Lilia's blanket is my absolute #1 priority for July. Like, she starts university. I'm repeating myself. She starts in September, and that needs to be done. And now I need to mention a project which I do get asked about. Just realised I haven't put any makeup on. Oops, I normally put makeup on for 3 reasons. 1, if I'm going to work, 2, if I'm filming a podcast, and 3, if I'm going out. Just completely forgot. I'm so used to picking up the camera these days and just looking like I look. So here we go. I have got a bit of stuff to dampen down the redness on my nose, because I've got a red nose at the moment. What was it? I didn't mean to get, what was I saying? Oh yes, this project. I get asked about it a lot. This is another glorious Alice bag from Lemon Tree Corner. And this is a little bag charm from Suzanne at Green Lampkin. She makes the most amazing stitch markers and bag charms, and she sent me this as a gift because we are both chicken ladies. We both got our chickens in the back garden. Oh, somebody asked for an update on the new chickens. So we had 2 established chickens, and then we got 2 rescue chickens. And the last time I filmed a podcast, they were, I think we'd only had them 4 days, and we were keeping them separate, but they are now fully integrated. Very happy. The pecking order has been established, and it isn't much of a pecking order. They just muddle along quite happily together. The new ones are delighted. They are living their best life. Their feathers are growing back in. They enjoy coming out in the garden to destroy it. And yeah, they are living a very happy existence in our garden. So that's Martha and Hannah, our new ones. And they are delightful. They are so friendly. Oh, I love them. So, and I'm just so glad they're with us. But in here, I can't put it off any longer, is my Christmas jumper. I started this at the beginning of last year. Oh, look at this. Oh dear. Oh no. I started this at the beginning of last year and had all manner of disasters. And then I thought I was back on track. I was doing really well. Where is it? Is it this one? No. This one? Yes, this one. I thought I was back on track, but I was thinking that my colour work wasn't looking its best. And then I realised that I was using the wrong yarn. So the red yarn is the correct yarn, and the grey yarn is much, much thinner in weight. And that's why it was getting lost as the colour work. So I'm making, it is the festive, no, the Yule, no. What on earth am I making? What's it called? It's a pattern by Skein Deer Knits. Have I got it in my notebook? No, because I started it before the notebook. It's a pattern by Skein Deer Knits, and I think, is it called the Festive Yoke? I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember. And this was the second or third time I'd started it, and I honestly thought I had cracked it, but no. So I'm having to take it right the way back. I'm going to have to go back right to where I started the colour work. At least I won't have to start the, I don't think I'll have to start the, oh, I don't know, maybe I will. Oh, maybe that's a bit, I mean, it will open out a bit. Maybe I want that to be a bit wider at the neck. Sorry, just as I was talking to you about the neckline, my memory card ran out. It was a bit full, so I had to go and put it in my computer and sort that out, but I'm back now. Yeah, I might start again from scratch and make the neck a bit wider. Not sure, but I need to do something with it. I intended to have it ready for Christmas 2023. It's now July and it's nowhere near like off the ground, and I need to make a decision. I really want to make the jumper. I love the yarn, I love the pattern, I really love the idea of it, but I need to pull my finger out and do it. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that over summer, but maybe I need to motivate. I need to frog it, which is a bit of a pain in the bottom as well, frogging colour work, but and I need to, yeah, then I need to move on and start making progress on it. It might be a good autumn project, maybe, if I just had that. If I put my efforts into doing the things I want to and need to get done over summer, and give myself space for making this in the autumn, maybe I could just dedicate myself to it. Maybe. So that's something else I want to consider, at least make plans for in the month of July, and get frogged so that the yarn is ready. And the other thing I'm going to be doing is my April cardigan. I've got the pattern here all printed out, albeit black and white and a pretty terrible copy. This is the April cardigan by Petite Knit. This was a beautiful gift. Big thank you to Jen, who sent me this as a gift on Ravelry, and it was so timely. I think I said a couple of videos ago that I was trying to decide between this pattern and her no frills sweater, and I really was struggling to decide, and then Jen sent me this as a gift, and I just thought, well, the universe has spoken, and I'm going to be making this for my Wonderland Walkalong. Just grab the yarn that was on the, oh sorry, I keep kicking the camera. So this is my yarn that I dyed when I went up to spend the weekend with Kelly and Nick at Lay Family Yarn. I had an amazing time. It was such a creative weekend. I learned so much, and I am so thrilled with the colour. I have been blown away by your response and your enthusiasm for it as well. They were so encouraging that I stick to what I found inspiring and that brought me joy, and what I wanted ultimately to use the colourway for as well. And I really wanted to create a colourway that evoked my love of nature, walking in woodlands, Alice in Wonderland, forest, magical, toadstools, autumn, and a colour that would suit me as well. And I know that deep greens and deep blues do work well for me, so that's where this all came from. I made a whole video about dyeing it and the inspiration. There are people have just arrived opposite that are putting scaffolding up. So they have a really good view from where they are up on the scaffolding, probably into our living room. But yeah, I'm pretty sure scaffolder won't care. Maybe they'll be tempted by the knitting, I don't know. Where was I? Yes, so I'm going to make the April cardigan for the Wonderland Walkalong. I'm holding a make-along that is using the Wonderland Walk yarn. It's running from the 1st of July, today, until the very end of August. I'm going to do prizes and so on as well. And I also said in the video, the announcement video about the MAL, which all the information about the make-along is in that video, so I won't go into it all again, but I will say that if you've got a skein that you're hoping to save for socks, I'm going to do a little extra prize category in the Strictly Sock Along, which runs from September to the end of the year, for if you're making socks using the Wonderland Walk yarn. It comes on sock base, DK base, and they're two floofy bases, which is written this down. Suri alpaca floof or mohair silk. And I thought it might be fun to celebrate the make-along and to celebrate the yarn is to do a little giveaway. So I am going to run a giveaway right now on this channel, and the winner, you can tell me what base you want. I will then go and just buy it and get it sent to you anywhere where you are in the world. So if you want to enter to win a skein of Wonderland Walk, designed by me and dyed by Lay Family Yarn, tell me in the comments your favourite place to walk or your favourite place to knit or crochet. Use the term my favourite place to, and then either say crochet, knit or walk. And then I can use that phrase, my favourite place to filter comments and find a winner. I will announce the winner in the July wrap up, which is due to be out on Sunday the 11th of August. So good luck, leave me a comment, your favourite place to knit or your favourite place to walk or to crochet. Use the term my favourite place too, and you could be in with a chance of winning a skein on whatever base you choose of Wonderland Walk. I'm so happy with it. Anyway, I'm going to get this caked up so that I can get started on the April cardigan, because I'm really excited about that. I feel like there's something in this bag that I should be telling you about. What's in here? Oh no. Oh yeah. The Dodgy Bag MAL. Okay, I nearly forgot. So I said to you at the beginning that we'd raise money for charity, and this is not a project I'm about to share with you. It's a kind of WIP adjacent, work in progress adjacent. One day it will be a work in progress, but for now it's yarn in a bag. But I needed a bag of a certain size, so I went into my bag stash and pulled out this one. This is the original Dodgy Bag. This is, I think, the one that kick-started the term Dodgy Bag. Is a patchwork panel that I had made for no reason, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I turned it into a bag, and it's just so ugly. Well, I think it's ugly. Quite often when I show this, people say they really like it, but I think it's really ugly. He likes the bag. I can see him looking. The scaffold man. Yeah, so this is the original Dodgy Bag, and I nearly finished the podcast then without doing the Dodgy Bag MAL prizes, because obviously they ended on the 5th of June, but I did leave the thread open for a good week or so afterwards to give everyone a chance to get their entries in and to chat for a bit longer, but that's now closed. It was a really popular thread, and there is a permanent thread in my Ravelry group for people to chat about bag making and so on. I am really terrible at forum groups and keeping up with it and everything like that, but I do go in and sort of observe and watch, and it's just such a lovely thread. People are so helpful, so chatty, there's real friendships being made there, and yeah, so you can go and chat there anytime about making bags or whatever you like. But I drew some prizes, so I decided there was 870 odd entries into that thread. Claudia's drawing from the Ravelry, from the Instagram hashtag. Claudia, by the way, being Crochet Luna, who I run the Dodgy Bag MAL with every year. She's done her winners, and I thought I'd draw two because there were so many entries. So I used, and I filmed it, I did a screen filming, so hopefully that's worked, earlier, and drew two winners from the Ravelry thread. So I used the random number generator on Google. The first one was post 196, and that was Jackson's Grammy Cakes. That is Patricia, and she is in Connecticut. She's in a place called Canterbury in Connecticut, which is really funny because we have a city called Canterbury here in Kent. She made 4 bags in total. They were absolutely beautiful, and she said in one of her posts that she'd actually used one of my tutorials that I've got on this channel, so that was really lovely. So Jackson's Grammy Cakes, Patricia, you have won, and this is going to come all the way to Connecticut, one of Hooray for James's bags. He doesn't sell these, by the way. People have asked before. He just makes them. Oh, he should sell them because they are absolutely gorgeous. This one, he gave me 2 when he gave me my Alice bag. Look, James, Hooray for James. And he gave me 2 more to use as prizes. This one is, can you see, it's all quilted. Is this called batik? I think that's like a batik type fabric. And the lining is this lovely clean cream. And it is just perfect for socks. It's got the little things so you can hold it. And in here, I'm going to put one of my Dodgy Bag pins. So when I'll tell you all about pins and charity money in a minute. But you've got one of my Dodgy Bag pins in there. And then I went through my little stash of yarn that I have put aside for prizes. And I'm going to add in the Cookston Crafts Beach Hut colourway. I'd originally put this to one side to use as a prize for a summer make-along. I'd already decided that I wasn't going to do the summer make-along this year. Last year we did summer strawberry shortcake make-along. And I'd already decided I wasn't going to do that this year. And then I decided that I would do the Wonderland Walk. Anyway, so I thought I'll add this to the prize parcel. I thought it was quite a nice summery prize, along with the pin. So that's what you have won, Patricia. If you could just email me, that is always the best way to get in contact with me. I'll put it on the screen, littledrotsofwonderful@gmail.com. Email me with your address and I will get that sent out to you as soon as possible. And then the second winner that came up was quite a late one. It was number 115. I love it when I recognise people who win a prize. And that was Samantha, and she is one half of A Crafty Yarn. Samantha and Caitlin, they're in Australia. They're a mother and daughter and they craft together. But I think it's Samantha who's been making the bags. She made eight bags. Amazing. So I've put together a little prize parcel for you as well, Samantha. I've got some gorgeous yarn. Again, I originally got this for the summer make-along, but I've decided to do it for the Dodgy Bag MAL. Oh my goodness, this is called Angelique, the colourway. It is from Curated Yarn Company, lovely Stevie. Oh, she helped me choose this one because of the summery colours. It looks like raspberry ripple ice cream, doesn't it? There we go. Yeah, so you've got that, and to go with it, I've got one. Oops, what did I just drop? Oh, I dropped this. You've got a dodgy bag pin. You've also got a fabulous little parcel of one of Claudia's pins for the Dodgy Bag MAL for this year. And this is it's got a little magnetic bookmark in there with a sewing machine. I know you love sewing, so, and you've got some tea and some stitch markers and the lovely badge. And then I got this little sock pouch. I've got one of these as well, the exact same one from Joe at Pickle Lily. They are just perfect for a little sock project to pop in your handbag, and they've got just little poppers here. I've got 2 or 3 of these now and I use them all the time. Perfect. So I'm going to put that together for you as well. So Samantha, I know you've got my email already, but drop me an email with your address if I don't have it, and I will get this sent out to you. So thank you everyone for joining in the Dodgy Bag MAL. Your bags were tremendous. I loved looking at them popping up on Instagram and in the Ravelry thread, and your enthusiasm and your creativity for the Dodgy Bag MAL is just so inspiring, and I think it's my favourite make-along of the year, even though it's sewing, which I'm not very good at, and it's not my main craft. I love it so much, playing with all the fabrics, just how simple it is and not having to worry about perfection and so on. And I think, yeah, I love it, and long may it continue. Same time again next year, Claudia. What do you think? Yeah. Oh, and there was a swap that was going on as well, so I hope that you all loved that. We just put you all in touch with each other, and you were swapping a bag. Me and my swap partner have been absolutely rubbish. I emailed you this morning, Nancy, because we haven't swapped ours yet. That's terrible, isn't it? It's our own, we organised the swap and the make-along and I haven't even done it yet. But Nancy, I emailed you this morning, I haven't forgotten about you. Hello, it's me, editing me from the future. I've just realised that I completely left out a bit that I totally meant to include. And that is the bit about the charity donation and the sale of the Dodgy Bag pins. So I'm just popping in from the future to do that bit and insert it. So I wanted to let you know that I will put pictures up. So I completely sold out of my Dodgy Bag pins. So thank you if you bought one. They were way more popular than I could ever have envisaged, and I have more on the way. They should arrive within the next week or 2, and as soon as they arrive I will get them back up in the shop, so there will be more available. But the first batch that had arrived was not the finish that I wanted. So here was a picture of the finished Dodgy Bag pin, the official one that I will be selling from now on. And then here is a picture of the ones that arrived that were wrong. You can see that they have a glitter finish, which is very pretty, but they don't have the hard enamel, completely smooth surface, which is what I wanted for these pins. So with those ones, the company didn't want them back, even though they replaced them with the correct finish. So I sold them on eBay to raise money for the Brain Tumour Charity in memory of my dad. And we raised, by the sale of those on eBay, £324, which is amazing. And I rounded that up by another £76, so that the total was 400. And in that £76, I have to say a special thank you to Tracy, Lorna and Sue, who donated the postage, their postage costs, where they bought on both Etsy and eBay, to the charity as well. And to Elaine, who bought the 2 extras, so that the money could be raised, but she didn't actually want the pins, and they are the 2 pins that were in those prizes that you've just seen. So thank you to those ladies that did that. Yes, so that's £400 in total. I will put on the screen the screenshots I took of the receipt. One is the pay, because I did it via eBay, I pay an invoice to eBay for the money that goes to the Brain Tumour Charity, and the £76 I just donated directly as well. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much for all your stories and heartfelt wishes as well about the chosen charity. It was really lovely to hear from you, and I'm really glad that we raised that money. And keep an eye on my shop for when the Dodgy Bag pins will be back. Right, let's go back to me still rabbiting on in the past. Okay, I feel like it's all gone to pot in the last part of this podcast. And finally, just mopping up everything at the end. I've got a few things to share with you and to mention. I've got a couple of incoming things I wanted to show you. Oh, first of all, I got this gorgeous lobster keyring. I'm going to put this on one of my project bags, I think. I've just got to decide which one. Oh, maybe I'll just put it in my bag. It's from Jenny. It was a real surprise. I went to my PO box and there it was. How gorgeous is that? I love it. Proper chunky as well. A lobster keyring, and that was a lovely little sort of thank you for the videos present from Jenny. So nice and cold. I feel like I just want to do this with it. And then also I got another ridiculous surprise that really confused me in so many ways. And my lovely friends, my proper real life little yarny besties, or a couple of them, went to the, where was it they went? What's the name of it? The Southwest, Flock. It's called Flock. It's run by Mr. B's Yarns. Yes, Mr. B's Yarns, and it's in the southwest of England, and it's a kind of yarny get together, and they have some vendors there, and they all get together and knit and have a lovely time. And I wish I lived nearby so I could go. But Gaynor from Tales from Cuckooland and Sarah, who is Sarah One Daisy on Instagram, had gone to Flock together. And James from James Makes Yarn was there, and Sarah and Gaynor know how much I love his yarn. I haven't actually ever purchased any. I've always taught myself out of it, and they were telling him how much I loved his Beanie Babies colourway, and I was really regretful that I hadn't picked any up. He didn't have that, but he said if she loves Beanie Babies, she'll love this. I think I love this more. So they bought me a skein as a present. Oh, yarny friends are the best. So this is by James Makes Yarn. If you don't know of James Makes Yarn, I'm going to link him underneath. He's also very active on Instagram. Please go and check him out. His yarn is amazing. And this is his Bloom colourway. And can I just draw your attention to it? Look at this. Can you see this? Is it there? Yeah, that little yellow neon speckle is everything. It just makes me deliriously happy, that little speckle. Oh, it's so gentle yet so bright and neon at the same time. Oh, it's so pretty. How can you get something so neon and bright yet so pastel and gentle all in the same thing? I can't wait. This is just gonna be fabulous socks, or I might make some gloves, little mitts or something. But for now I just admire it. So thank you, Gaynor and Sarah and James. James wrote a little note on the bag as well. I feel so spoiled. It's lovely. And finally, the very last thing I want to mention is when I was straightening my hair this morning, I was watching a video on the Coco and Flora channel. She has recently come back to YouTube after a bit of a break. I've only got like one more thing to say. My battery's gone. One moment. Sorry about that. Had to change it over. Yeah, as I was saying, Coco and Flora's Eva. She's recently come back to YouTube after having a break, and she's also got a new website for her shop. And she did a video a couple of weeks ago which was announcing the opening of her Coco and Flora website, and I watched it twice. It was so good, so cute, so original. There's so much little detail in it. It's a little, not an animation, it's like the little knitted frogs are opening the shop, and the detail as they go about putting the shop together is just, oh my goodness, it's adorable. So I'm going to link that video underneath. Please go and watch it. It's lovely. Coco and Flora channel. Eva's lovely. She makes glorious things, honestly. So I've got a couple of her bags. Do I have any here? No, I don't. But yeah, or do I? Just double checking. Yeah, go and watch that. It'll make your day. It'll just make you smile. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. I think I might do another little week of making vlogs some point soon. But until then, happy knitting, happy crocheting, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.